Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm working on my first brand ambassador project for, yes, Catherine Pooler. I joined the team not too long ago, and this is my first chance to share with you some of the new stuff that's coming out. We are going to be working with the new Boho Trends Collection, and I've got a few goodies that was sent to me by Catherine Pooler inks, and we're going to play with those today. To start off with, I've got a couple of new inks. These are some of the mini size. You might have seen me use some of those in some of my other videos with some other colors, but here's a new color that is called Ginger. And then we have, this one is Whipped Honey. And I think these are both really, really lovely together. Then we have got a brand new stamp set. This is the Smile Bright stamp set, and look at all those fun rainbows. This is going to be so much fun to make a lot of fun projects with. I'm just thinking it's any card making these would definitely brighten anybody's day. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Then we have the dies that go along with these. So that's going to be fun. And then to add it on to the top of that, we've got these cute little butterflies. We've got, this one is called Butterfly Buddies. So those are the things I'm going to be playing with today. So let's go ahead and get started stamping. So I am just going to play around with these stamps. I did go through a little bit of planning and pulled out some of my Catherine Pooler inks that I already had in my stash. And so I'm going to kind of make this a pastel-y card. I'm still trying to keep it kind of sort of RGB. So that means purple, pink, and then orange, because this can blend with those. You don't have to do it this way, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Starting off with this little one here, and I'm going to go a little off center because I want my rainbow to be a little off center. And you know me, I usually use my Misties, so we'll see how this goes, right? I typically do not do freehand stamping, but I am going to go ahead and give it a shot because, you know, these are some sweet images. These are ones that I don't think it really matters if you get them completely lined up right. And the Catherine Pooler inks do tend to be juicy enough, especially if you keep your re-inkers handy, so that the first stamping should work fine. Okay, so for the next one, you just go ahead and put it on my block instead of lining it up on the... Oh yes, I did re-ink this one. Awesome. Was a little concerned. I wasn't sure if that one was going to have enough. Now I'm going to just line it up kind of over my first one and making sure the bottoms are kind of lined up and go for it. It's not going to be perfect. Oh, but I think that is sweet. Okay, and then we're going to go in with the orange. These are also some of the softer, more pastel-y ones. I do have some bolder colors, so you could definitely mix this up. Let's take that one off and put my third stamp. This one is bigger, and it is about the same size as this stamp block. There we go. I was able to get the whole thing on there. Awesome. And going ahead and adding some ink down. I'm going to actually do it this way so I get the whole thing covered without getting my hands completely in the ink. And going to go ahead and line that one up too. And of course I twisted at the last minute so it's not completely lined up, and that is still totally fine too. So there we go. I think that is pretty. There's also some additional stamps besides these solid ones. These solid ones are really cool. I like those. But we've also got some designs that we can add on to our rainbow. So I think I'm going to use some of those. Let's get this curly Q one. And this time I am going to line it up with my image because you can flex this any which way that you want to. And I want to make sure it goes onto my block about straight. There we go. And for this, I'm going to use some black ink just to make this part pop a little bit. Grabbing out my VersaFine Clair. And I'm going to position it kind of in the middle of that outer ring. Or outer arch, rather. There we go. That looks cute. And then I'll take the next squiggle, do the same thing, lining it up with the background part of that arch. And these are sticky. These are brand new stamps. Have not used them before today. That way they will be lined up right. Adding this one down again in some black ink. Just stamping it down. That looks great. And I've got a flower and a heart. And I've also got this one that is the stripes that could go right over. I think that'll add a little bit too much blackness on there. So instead, I'm going to just use this little heart. And just pop that right on there. So I just grabbed out a piece of scrap and put a couple of my sentiment stamps down onto my block. It looked like I had a little bit of dust on my smile sentiment. Don't want that. And I'm just going to put that right straight on down. So now I've got a cute sentiment that says, "Hope this makes you smile." So next I want to do a little bit of layering. I've already got my stamps stamped out. I've already got my sentiments already cut out. I just did some real easy fussy cutting, and I'm going to make a little bit of a matte border to match that purple that's in the center. And I'm just using that Sweet 16. It's the same ink that I used for that inside arch, and just covering part of that, the edges of my card panel. Now this card panel I cut down a little smaller than A2. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to trim my card panel itself down a little bit too. So this one with the rainbow, that also means that I can decide how close I want it to the edge. This one needs to be cut down to about 3 3/4 by 5. So let's go ahead and do that. Trim it down there. I think I'm going to trim a little bit off of the top and the bottom. So I kind of like the positioning of it vertically there. Okay, so let's take a look. I think that's going to be perfect. All I now need is going to be my glue and my foam, because of course I have to pop everything up. I'm going to go ahead and first off just adhere this flat down onto that mat. There we go, and then put some foam on the back of this. There we go. And now I can put that onto the front of my card base. And then I'm going to put a little bit of foam on the back of my sentiments. And I think that is all I want to do for this card. So I think that turned out super sweet. So for my next card, I'm going to play with these pretty little butterflies. And I'm just using some of my purples in the ink and going along the edges, the outside edges, with some Sweet 16. And do that on both of my cute little butterflies. Okay, so that's for some of the Sweet 16. And now I'm going to come in with some pixie dust. That's my darker of the two. And let's see how it picks up with my... This brush is not going to do it for me. Let me try this brush. Okay, this one is going to work better. I'm going to add some of the darker color right around the inside and kind of bring it out a little bit into my wings. So there's one of our little butterflies. And do the same thing on the other one. And I decided I want to have kind of a bright background, I think. Let's see, got this pretty yellow that is the whipped honey, and I think that would be real pretty behind my I'm going to just add a few little stripes on here with this ink pad. There we go. And then I'm going to come back in with the ginger, do the same thing. And then let's go ahead and trim that down a little bit. I'm going to trim a little bit off of each side and cut this one down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then we can add a sentiment. I like this one. I'm going to go with "Your future's gonna be bright." And this time I'm going to stamp directly onto the paper. Well, let's go ahead and get that one done, but I do want to make sure I get it lined up right. So this time I'm going to use my Misty. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did before with the last one. I'm going to use some VersaFine Clear to give it that really dark black. I do not have any Catherine Pooler black ink at this point, but I think this works really well too. And doesn't look like it needs a second stamping. Awesome! Okay, so I'm going to pop this up on some foam like before and add some glue on the foam just to make sure that I can get it straight. Love that this gives it a little bit of time for some wiggle room. Okay, so go ahead and put this down right there. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to adhere my little butterflies down. So now I'm going to add a few little gems on here. Just some things that I had in my stash that I thought would be cute. And that card is finished. Okay, so for my third card, I've got a little bit of a different idea. I'm going to start off by stamping one of the pieces that to me looks a bit like greenery, like from a wreath. So let's see how we do forming one of those. Maybe using grass skirt to start off with. Okay, I'm going to try flipping it around. I don't know if it is actually positioned where it's going to look pretty or not, but let's see what that looks like. It's a little bit off. Okay. How much off is it? I think that if I trim about 1/8 of an inch off of this panel, because I would be trimming it anyway, right? It should line up about where I want it to be. So just going down about 1/8 of an inch. And that does look about where I want it. Awesome. I do love that. Okay, great. Now I can put a sentiment in the center, and I think I want to do "Today is looking bright." Okay, that looks nice. And now I'm going to add some little flowers. So those first ones were in Party Dress, and now I'm going on to Tutti Frutti. And I think I do want some dark red. I'm going to also add in some that is in the cranberry fizz. So we've got pink and orange and red, and how about a little purple? Let's go in with some pixie dust. I think that might be done. Stop recording. So I'm making another matting layer just like I did on that earlier card for my flower card. And I'm trimming everything down. Now I'm going to go ahead and mount everything to my card base. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my matting layer down flat onto my card base. There we go. And then I'm going to pop this guy up on foam. And adding a little glue to the back to make sure that I can move it around and get it positioned right where I want it. And that card is done. So that's going to finish up this video. This is, again, my first brand ambassador project for Catherine Pooler inks. I absolutely love how these turned out. I also want to let you know that this is part of an Instagram hop or InstaHop. So be sure to check out the rest of that Instagram hop for a lot more inspiration from a lot of creative folks. You guys have a wonderful day. By the way, the link to my Instagram is down in the description as well. So be sure to check that one out, give it a like, and of course follow the rest of the folks in the hop. You guys have a wonderful day. Check out this playlist to see more videos as they come up where I am using Catherine Pooler products. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Stop recording. Nothing like your smile in the morning.